Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com bringing you my review of the brand new, yet to be released Nike Lunarglide 6. Now as you can see, it comes in your standard orange Nike Performance box, so no surprises there. Here's a look at the label. You can see it's listed as the Lunarglide 6, size 9.5 US. The colorway is white, black, hyper crimson, and hyper cobalt. And the retail price sticker is not on there because this is a Canadian pair. But these guys, when they release on July 10th, will retail for $110 US. But as of right now, you can actually pre-order a Nike ID custom colorway variation for I believe about $145. So it's a $35 premium to get a custom color, which is fine. That's how Nike ID works. If you want that, it's available to you. But otherwise, if you want to get them for $110, you're just going to have to wait till they actually release. Now, as far as why I have these early, I actually just walked into one of my local shoe stores, saw them on the wall, was kind of surprised, a little bit confused, asked them if I could get my size. They said yeah, they brought them out, I tried them on, and I bought them before they could change their mind. So I'm actually lucky to have these a couple weeks prior to the actual release. And I have to say I'm really happy with this shoe. As far as running models are concerned, I do my fair share of running, and I try to stick to shoes that are a little bit more low profile in terms of the amount of cushion they provide, and also the heel and forefoot offset. Just because I'm in soccer shoes a lot, so when I am training off the field, I try to stick to running shoes that are going to be as similar provide as similar a running experience to a pair of soccer shoes as possible. But when I do want something with a little bit more underfoot cushioning, my general preference tends to be the Nike Lunarglide series. So I'm pretty excited about the Lunarglide 6, and visually I actually quite like this shoe. I think that the difference between the Lunarglide 4 and the Lunarglide 5 was pretty minimal. Visually, the shoes weren't very different, and in terms of feel, they weren't that much different either. But this time around, coming from the Lunarglide 5 to the 6, visually the shoe is a lot different. This one has a very kind of technical design about it. There's a lot going on, lots of different colors, a very interesting midsole that is not only visually different, but the actual foam itself is supposed to be a little bit different, which we'll talk about in just a second. And I actually just like this upper. It's not engineered mesh anymore. You can see instead they've gone for kind of a hyperfuse or deconstructed hyperfuse type of construction, where you have like a heavily ventilated mesh here as a top layer. You have this kind of thin support frame here on the inside, which makes up this design and still allows for air to pass through, as well as maintaining a nice thin flexible kind of texturing to it. And then on the inside, giving it that blue color kind of peeking through the holes, I guess. There's like a neoprene type of liner on the inside that's also attached to the tongue. So again, I think it looks pretty cool. This one obviously features a white base. This is the launch color of the Lunarglide 6, so you'll probably be seeing a lot of this shoe in the next couple of weeks when the shoe actually does come out. And again, it just looks pretty cool to me. It feels nice, and I really can't complain about it all that much at all. You do have your tongue here, which is again a mesh material, but it's got some thick padding behind it. So in terms of how much ventilation that's going to provide, I would expect very little. White laces, the tip of the tongue is blue with your Lunarglide 6 branding right there, kind of fused on top. Along with the new upper, you still have the use of dynamic flywire, which runs right to the base of the sole into the laces, but this time around it's a little bit more minimal. You can see that you do have 2 strands of flywire here at the very tip in the forefoot area, but all the rest of them running up the lacing system just feature 1 piece of flywire, so it's not as heavy duty as what you found on the Lunarglide 4 or the Lunarglide 5. So it's kind of curious to see how it's going to feel. I don't think it's going to make too big of a difference, but like I said, they did just kind of thin out the dynamic flywire just a bit for this new model. Moving on to the back portion, you can see you have a plastic dynamic support kind of heel clip. It's made from a harder plastic material, and that's there just to provide that little bit of extra support, lock your heel in place inside the shoe, which it will do effectively. Not a new feature on the Lunarglide series. And then kind of on the underside of this heel clip, you have this very interesting kind of ridge type of design. It matches what you're going to find in the midsole, kind of makes for a seamless type of appearance from a distance at least. And it's not really anything special. It's just kind of like a foam material with this nice kind of orange material kind of fused on top, just to give it a unique look. It's not hard, it's not particularly soft, and as far as I know, it doesn't serve any actual kind of performance purpose. It's there simply for the visual look, and I actually quite like how it looks. I think it's a pretty cool design element of the new Lunarglide 6. As far as the midsole is concerned, you can see you have a combination of colors, this very bright orange, then you have your hyper cobalt here in the forefoot area on both the lateral and medial sides, and then the medial side of the heel area is actually a kind of mango type of color. It's like a lighter orangish yellow, and that flows right into the base of the outsole, as you guys can see, where you have some rubber in the forefoot. Actually, the entire forefoot is pretty much rubber. It's a similar layout to what you're going to find on the Nike Flyknit Lunar 2, but not exactly the same either. So you have your kind of mango color rubber here, and then it flows into like a orangish red, into a lighter orange, into a slightly darker orange in the middle. So it kind of has that fade type of effect, which I thought was pretty cool. All the little splits in the middle, in between these rubber areas, are that same hyper cobalt color, so a nice blue. And then the very back kind of black area is again that hard rubber, where all this area through the midfoot is completely exposed foam from the midsole. So that's pretty much it as far as the colorway is concerned. Again, it's a pretty straightforward one. A nice combination of colors, if you ask me. Vibrant enough to kind of stand out just a little bit, but obviously with just a plain white upper with black Nike swooshes, it's nothing too crazy, at least in comparison to what the colorways I'm sure will launch and what people are making on Nike ID. But as far as performance is concerned, the shoes feel very comfortable. Like I mentioned, the upper is nice, and with this new Lunarglide sole, it's actually new, or at least Nike is claiming it to be. It's supposed to be a new variation of Lunarglide that's supposedly a little bit lighter. And it's kind of difficult to say that, having not actually run in the shoes yet. But they definitely feel pretty good. I mean, it doesn't feel too far off from a standard pair of Lunarglide runners. And as far as the kind of tech behind this shoe, you can see that in the forefoot area you have this blue foam that's actually separate from the back portion of the shoe. So that is a different kind of density of Lunarglide. And then moving on to the back, again, you can see it transitions to orange. That's actually a separate piece of foam, and that it's actually painted. You can see that it looks like it transitions here, but it's not actually a different layer of foam. It's just completely painted on. And again, the idea here is when you're actually crashing to the ground, these different densities of Lunarglide foams are more or less going to correct themselves, correct your foot, I guess, the stance of your foot, and kind of stabilize you and have you land as smoothly as possibly and release as smoothly as possibly. I don't want to get too much into the technical side of running shoes and stuff like that and how they're supposed to work, but that's basically the idea behind this Lunarglide midsole with different variations of foam. And again, without actually having ran in them, it's kind of difficult to say how it actually feels and how it actually performs. But if you've run in the Lunarglide 4, the Lunarglide 5, I would expect the Lunarglide 6 to feel at least somewhat similar, if not an improvement over previous models, which is not too uncommon to expect from Nike, as they tend to make their products pretty good year after year. So that's pretty much it as far as all the close-up details go and the tech specs on the Lunarglide 6, and move on next to a quick on feet so you can get a better idea as to how these shoes fit and of course how they look. Alright, here's a look at the Lunarglide 6s on feet with a pair of shorts. And as far as comfort is concerned, I'm actually surprised at how different these feel versus what we got from the Lunarglide 5. Obviously the entire outsole has changed, so it shouldn't be too big of a surprise. But just in comparison, they feel a little bit firmer from right out of the box. I'm sure that will change after you get some running time in them. But of course, Nike is saying that this is a different, more lightweight variation of Lunarglide foam. So I guess that shouldn't be, again, too much of a surprise with the Lunarglide 6, but nonetheless, they definitely do feel very comfortable. In terms of fit, they're going to be suitable for pretty much all foot types, even if you have really wide feet. I have about average width feet, and these fit me very, very comfortably. The upper is nice and lightweight, flexible, has that nice breathability to it, and again, for the most part, it's going to be comfortable as kind of an everyday summer shoe, or even just a pair of runners for performance purposes. In terms of sizing, I'm wearing my usual size 9.5 US, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So just like previous Lunarglide models, if you are looking to order a pair of Lunarglide 6s, I recommend going true to size. Alright, here's a look at the Lunarglide 6s on feet with a pair of pants. And while this is intended as a performance shoe from Nike, I think that the simple styling of the shoe definitely lends itself well to casual wear. So this is one of those shoes, pending that you get it in one of the more subtle colorways, like I have right here, that you definitely can use as an everyday shoe. They're very comfortable, they look the part, and you really can't go wrong for $110. So that's pretty much it as far as the on-feet portion of this video is concerned, and I'll leave you to my final thoughts. Alright guys, that's it for my review of the Nike Lunarglide 6. This is a series of shoes that I've been a fan of for the last couple of years. I really like how light they are, but at the same time provide some really good underfoot cushioning. They're very comfortable shoes, and they definitely do look the part, especially with this new Lunarglide 6 upper design, at least in my opinion. I guess leave your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think of the look of the new Lunarglide 6. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it for my review. If you guys want to see more detailed images of the shoes that I have right here, just to give you a better idea as to how they actually do look in person, be sure to check out the review page on my website, linked down below. Normally there would be buy it now links as well, and depending on when you watch this video, there will be, but up until July 10th when this shoe is released, that is the day that I will have buy it now links up on the page. So be sure to go ahead and check that out if you're interested in a pair of these for yourself at, of course, retail price, perhaps even a little bit lower. Other than that though, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to support it with a like. If you have any questions regarding the Lunarglide 6 or any suggestions for other shoes you'd like to see brought in and featured on the channel, be sure to leave those down below in the comment section. Always open to hearing what you guys want to see as far as content is concerned. Other than that though, guys, subscribe if you haven't already for more reviews on all the latest and greatest sneakers. All of my social media information is also linked down below in the description. And other than that, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.